Deep in the steppe, a burial mound unearthed a glittering cache of gold-inlaid swords, bronze mirrors, and a single set of human remains. The bones, wrapped in a felt shroud, belonged to a warrior whose grave dates to roughly 2,500 years ago. Scholars first thought the wealth proved a unified elite, yet the silent skeleton kept a secret that would later upend that view. When Herodotus toured the Black Sea coast, he heard tales of endless horsemen roaming a single kingdom. He recorded a people he called Scythia, describing them as one tribe sharing language, customs, and blood. Greek merchants repeated the story, and for centuries it shaped every map of the steppe. But the ancient author never saw the interior, and his sweeping label concealed far more diversity than his pen could capture. Archaeologists have traced Scythian-style bronze helmets, ornate gold plaques, and curvilinear pottery from the Danube Delta in the west to the Altai foothills in the east. Each find bears the same artistic motifs, yet the distances span over 2,000 kilometers of grassland. The spread of material culture suggested a single mobile nation, but the sheer breadth also raised the question of whether many groups simply adopted a common style. Scientists extracted DNA from more than 300 individuals buried between the 8th century BCE and the 3rd century CE. The samples came from graves scattered across the Pontic-Caspian Plain, the Volga Basin, and the Central Asian Steppes. By sequencing these genomes, the team built a genetic time transect that captures the ebb and flow of peoples over a millennium, revealing patterns invisible in artifacts alone. In the Western steppe, the genetic data formed a tight cluster that mixed ancestry from Bronze Age herders with a modest East Asian signal. Those individuals shared alleles with earlier Yamnaya-derived groups, yet carried a faint trace of ancestry linked to populations from the Far East. The blend suggests a gradual influx rather than a single invasion, hinting that Western Scythians were a hybrid of long-standing steppe residents and newcomers. Further east, another genetic cluster emerged, dominated by a strong East Asian component. The individuals in this group displayed ancestry that matched later Iron Age nomads from Mongolia and the Altai region. Their genomes lacked the Western European steppe signature, indicating a separate migratory wave that arrived later and mixed with local Bronze Age peoples. This distinct profile points to a second, independent origin of Scythian culture. A burial mound near the Volga yields a skull with a blend of Western steppe ancestry and East Asian markers. Scientists compared it to dozens of other remains spanning centuries. The patterns consistently separate into two genetic clusters, each linked to a different Bronze Age population. Those clusters suggest at least two independent births of the Scythian way of life. A copper bracelet from a Western kurgan bears a design identical to one found in an Eastern burial. Yet the DNA of the two individuals shows distinct lineages, with overlapping admixture signals. Continuous movement of peoples across the steppe mixed traits, creating a patchwork of shared material culture. The result is a genetic mosaic that resists neat borders. A Greek merchant's ledger from the 5th century BCE lists payments to Scythians traveling across the Black Sea coast. The same document mentions horse-drawn wagons and gold ornaments, but offers no distinction between groups. Greek writers applied a single name to anyone riding the steppe on horseback. That blanket label obscured the true diversity of the steppe's inhabitants. A stone inscription recovered near the Irtysh River names the Saka, while a Persian account describes the Massageti fighting a king named Tamirus. A later Chinese chronicle records the Isidones as nomads beyond the Altai. Each name appears in separate cultural contexts, suggesting distinct identities. Yet all were grouped under the same Greek term, further blurring their separate histories. Science Advances paper analyzed over 100 ancient individuals from the 8th century BCE to the 3rd century CE. Their results indicate that the Scythian cultural package emerged at least twice, each time from a unique blend of Bronze Age steppe herders and later East Asian arrivals. The authors stress that gene flow between the groups created overlapping traits, complicating any simple narrative. Excavations at a western kurgan uncovered a bronze sword dated to the 8th through 5th centuries BCE, matching the earliest known Scythian artifacts. The DNA from the associated skeleton shows a predominance of Western steppe ancestry, with a modest East Asian component. This timing aligns with the first appearance of characteristic Scythian horse gear in the region, marking the Western cultural emergence. Archaeologists uncovered a burial mound near the Irtysh River dated to the 7th century BCE, its grave goods shimmering with bronze and turquoise. Radiocarbon work on nearby skeletal remains pushes the timeline forward, with some individuals living as late as the 3rd century BCE. Those later bodies carry unmistakable East Asian genetic markers, suggesting a lingering influx of peoples from far beyond the steppe. The pattern hints at a prolonged, not fleeting, Eastern influence. Scientists ran admixture models on DNA extracted from 34 Scythian sites, comparing each genome to a library of ancient reference populations. The best-fitting solutions consistently required 2 contributors, a local Bronze Age steppe component and a distinct East Asian stream that entered the region centuries earlier. Neither model could explain the data with a single source, and the 2-source fit held across both Western and Eastern clusters. This statistical signature underscores a dual ancestry that shaped the steppe peoples. A bronze-capped horse's hooves echo across the plains of the Pontic-Caspian steppe, its rider wielding a composite bow. That mobile, war-focused way of life proved attractive to neighboring groups who adopted the same tactics and gear. As the practice spread, disparate tribes began to be labeled by Greek observers with the same term, even though their bloodlines differed. The shared lifestyle acted as a cultural adhesive, binding together peoples who otherwise traced distinct genetic roots. Excavators in the Altai Mountains uncovered a gold torque, adorned with stylized animal heads, its filigree echoing designs found on a burial in the Danube Delta. Though the artifacts originated thousands of kilometers apart, their motifs align with a common artistic vocabulary that traversed the steppe. Such parallels suggest robust exchange networks that moved ideas and luxury items, even as the peoples behind them carried separate genomes. A towering kurgan rises near the Volga, its stone chambers layered like a wedding cake. Hundreds of kilometers east, a similar mound crowns a burial site in the Altai, its construction mirroring the Western example down to the timber lining. The architectural blueprint spreads without regard to genetic background, indicating that ritual practices traveled across the steppe, binding diverse groups through shared mortuary traditions. Hollywood posters still picture the Scythians as a single, monolithic tribe of fierce horsemen sweeping across the plains. Textbooks echo that image, describing a unified people bound by language and blood. Yet the ancient genomes tell a different story, one of multiple lineages converging under a common name. The myth of a single nation masks a mosaic of communities, each contributing to the Scythian reputation. When researchers overlay the genetic data onto the map of the steppe, a patchwork emerges. Western groups rooted in Bronze Age herders, Eastern clusters infused with East Asian ancestry, and many intermediate blends. Each thread represents a distinct community that adopted the horse archer ethos. Together, they weave a complex picture, showing that the Scythian label was less a bloodline and more a shared way of life across many peoples. In 1913, a farmer named Ivan trudged through the western Pontic steppe and struck a stone cairn hidden beneath his field. When he lifted the earth, a chest burst open, spilling gold-inlaid swords, beaded necklaces, and a polished horse harness that gleamed in the sunrise. The skeleton inside was an average-height man with a mix of Western and Eastern traits. That single grave hinted at a far wider, tangled story waiting to be untangled. Around 400 BCE, Herodotus scribbled a map that stretched a single Scythian kingdom from the Black Sea all the way to the Altai peaks. He described them as one people sharing language, customs, and endless horse riding. Yet his accounts came from traders and soldiers, not from any systematic survey of the steppe. How much of that sweeping portrait rested on imagination rather than fact? Long before the famed horse archers, archaeologists uncovered Bronze Age camps dotted across the Pontic-Caspian grasslands. Pottery shards with distinct painted designs, chipped stone tools, and simple burial pits reveal a patchwork of groups moving eastward and westward. Their DNA already blended Western hunter-gatherer lineages with early Indo-European herders, creating a genetic backdrop that would later mingle with new arrivals. The stage was already set for further mixing. When researchers extracted DNA from Kurgan burials in the western steppe, they found a striking East Asian signature linked to ancient Altai populations. That component never appears in the earlier Bronze Age samples, indicating a later wave of migrants who adopted the local Scythian lifestyle. The genetic imprint repeats in graves spanning several centuries, showing the influx was not a one-off event, but a sustained flow. The 2021 Science Advances paper grouped over 200 genomes from the Scythian era into two distinct clusters. One cluster, dated from the 8th to the 5th centuries BCE in the West, mixes Bronze Age steppe ancestry with the newly arrived East Asian strand. The other, from the 7th to the 3rd centuries BCE in the East, carries a stronger Eastern influence while still retaining the steppe core. Together they outline two parallel origins under one name. Despite the genetic split, artisans on both sides of the steppe forged identical gold-plated plaques depicting stylized animals and radiant sunbursts. Excavations reveal Kurgan mounds built with the same stone chambers and earthen caps, using identical construction tricks. These shared artistic and architectural choices suggest an elite ideology that traveled faster than genes, binding disparate peoples under a common visual language. When the new genetic data hit the scholarly world, the notion of a single Scythian nation crumbled. Historians now argue the term simply labeled anyone mastering horseback archery, living in a kurgan, and wearing gold ornaments, whether they were Saka, Massageti, Isidones, or local steppe groups. The label bundled many distinct peoples into one brand, masking a vibrant mosaic of cultures. Greek writers lumped every rider they saw under the word Scythian, erasing the underlying genetic and cultural variety that truly defined the steppe, leaving us to ask what other ancient labels hide beneath their surface.